The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
My name's Ron Laver, and with me in the studio today is Bailey Tomkinson.
Yeah.
Hello, Bailey.
You're right.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You've had quite an amazing 12 months, really, haven't you?
Yeah, very lucky.
Amongst other things, I think your last three singles, which were all released during 2019, all got to the very near the top 2-3 in the iTunes country music charts.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So
really,
the pressure's
really awesome.
on for your new release now.
Yeah.
You also had a mention on Radio 2
Yes, I did.
from Brad Paisley.
That was pretty cool.
Which must have been awesome.
That was, I found out just before it went live, and I was actually playing a gig when it was live, so I couldn't listen to it live. So I kept the whole time through the gig, I was looking at someone in the crowd, like my parent, like my dad in the crowd or something, and being like, is it time? I was trying to get my break between sets around the same time it was on live, but I ended up just watching it, listening to it even when I got home.
He was very complimentary about your, I think it was a movie scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a movie scene,
Which was then your current single.
Yeah.
And likened you to Emmylou Harris and Taylor Swift in your songwriting. And I tend to agree, particularly Taylor Swift. The lyrics of your songs and the way you perform them is very sort of Taylor Swift-esque, if you like, in her early days.
Yeah, no, she was massive. She was definitely a massive, inspiration. Growing up, I was actually in secondary school because I used to have really big curly hair, and I used to, play all the songs for the boys I fancied, and I used to get called Bailey Swift in school, and it was.
So it was just a natural, wasn't it, that this would happen?
But no, yeah, she's. I do take that as a massive compliment, because look how successful she's done.
Yeah.
And she is, one of my favourite artists.
And coming from someone like
Brad Paisley,
is at the top of the tree,
crazy.
really, isn't he? Just
absolute
mind
gold.
blowing.
Yeah.
You've got a new single coming out.
I do.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Yes, so it's called I Wish It Didn't End Like This, and I wrote it about the person I actually wrote Hey Ace about when I was... So I wrote Hey Ace when I was about 15, about my best friend, and I wish it didn't end like this, kind of, at some point, last year, me and my best friend, we kissed, and it kind of ruined our relationship because, I think I wanted a relationship and he didn't, and our complete relationship just, went tumbling down, and I was really sad about it for a while because, I went from seeing him every day because he was my best friend to not seeing him at all. So I wrote, I Wish It Didn't End Like This. And, composition-wise, I've been heavily inspired by Bruce Springsteen for this one, in the whole 80s, the beat, and Cyndi Lauper. So this one, I feel like this one's very me. This is me, very me now. And I've had a massive input with this one as well. When I was in the studio, I was like, I was coming up with ideas a lot, and it does sound. This one sounds like me the most. I think most like me now.
Drank with the devil, he had your smile. Told me I was wonderful. He made my heart beat so wild, then ruptured it with a single smoke. Oh, I wish we had never kissed. I slept under my duvet before the sun went down. Carole King was my holy ground. Avoided you as I found myself collecting dust on your crowded shelf. Oh, I wish you weren't hard to miss. Oh, I wish it didn't end like this. Oh, the wall came down in a tragic way. Your ex-girlfriend burning up the place. My head on your chest through the rough few weeks. You still said her name deep in your sleep. Oh, I'd know we wouldn't see the snow. Not only I lost you, but my closest friend. You cried down the phone when my grandma passed, but when I needed you, you had to sabotage. You left nothing more than giving scars. Oh, I wish you never had me convinced. Oh, I wish it didn't end like this. Long were the times I call you ace. You simply let me slip away. I haven't seen your face for quite some time. I heard you're back with her, I'm hoping that's a lie. Did you get that card I sent from Spain? I found it difficult to write your name. Oh, I wish I didn't have to admit. Oh, I wish it didn't end like this.
The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
So the connection between those songs, Hey Ace and I Wish,
Yeah.
it was the same guy.
Same guy, yeah, no.
And it took you 5 years to have a kiss.
Yeah.
You're very restrained. I must say.
It was weird because we were friends for 5
Yeah.
years, and we were seeing different people in between, and my feelings for him went on off between these 5 years, and eventually it was kind of inevitable it was going to happen. And yeah, we did kiss, and it, everything just ruined it. It could have gone one or two ways.
Yeah.
It could have, but it's fate. It's kind of, it was, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. If it wasn't, it wasn't.
Again, there's a likeness with Taylor Swift there, because I've heard her say, some of my best songs were about guys who left me or we
that's
fell
it.
apart.
All of my songs are about people. They're all, my own experiences, except from 7 Minutes in Heaven, that one wasn't, and Come Back Love, but pretty much all the rest, they're based on people. If the storyline isn't mine, they're based upon someone or a character, on someone I have feelings for. And I like to be very honest, and especially, with country, it's all about, the truth. Mm-hmm. And it's always been how I've expressed myself, or with my lyrics and my writing. So,
do you find that that you sort of opening up your private life to
definitely
people? Does that worry you? I mean, in terms, do you stand on stage singing a song for the first time? And all these people are going to know my business.
Yeah, it is very much like that. I think I had it a lot in school as well, because in college, I remember when I released my EP, everyone was a bit like, oh, so who's this one about? Or, and with Hey Ace, because the guy who I wrote it about, he was very, proud that I wrote him a song. So we went and told everyone. So people coming up to me saying, oh yeah, you wrote this song about, and I'm not really bothered. I'm a very open person as it is. I think, the things that I want to keep to myself, very personal stuff, that's not something I'd write about. But with my, my love life, I'm not too bothered, because everyone has a love life. Everyone.
So that side of your life, you're quite happy to have as an open book almost.
Well, yeah, it's the music that has helped me growing up has always been music about love, and I'd love to be able to help someone else go through a breakup, or when they catch feelings for someone, something like that. I'd love to be that for someone else.
And I think that's why your music resonates so much. It's,
Thank you.
It feels truthful, which is great.
Thank
also,
you.
Melodically, I think it's lovely, some of your music.
Thank you very much.
I'll talk about one of the tracks in a little while. Can I just go back? You're from Cornwall, St Ives, or you're living in St Ives?
Yeah, so I'm living in St Ives. Yeah.
And You must be living the dream, really, because you've got all this music going on. You're a surfer girl. If nothing else, you get some great pics, some great publicity photos, the backgrounds in your...
Beautiful. I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I do, really. I'm very, very, very lucky, very grateful. I've been living in St Ives for quite a long time now. I used to live abroad. I've lived in different countries growing up, but yeah, St Ives is where I settled. It's, where I feel like I did the most growing up. And, best of both worlds, really. I can, if I want to come to the city, it's a 1 hour flight to London. And then St Ives, it's my favourite place. I've got, surrounded by my favourite people. All my family love it there. I've got my friends there, my friends from school. It's real sense of community as well. Everyone's like one big family. It's lovely.
You weren't born in Cornwall, though, were you?
No. Hence my accent. I've got my mum's from up country. I wasn't born in the north, but because my mum's got a very strong accent.
You picked it, some of it.
People are a bit confused because of my accent. Some words I sound Cornish. Some words, I sound pretty neutral. Some I sound really northern. And it's just a bit everywhere.
And you lived abroad as well.
Yeah. So I was born in Derbyshire, and I lived there for a bit, and then I lived in Milan in Italy, and then I moved back to Derbyshire, and then I moved to Brussels in Belgium, and then I moved to St Ives.
So what sort of age were you when you went to St Ives?
St Ives, I was I think I was like 14, 15.
Right. Okay, so was that moving for parents' work and things like that? Yeah,
my dad's job. But right. Yeah, I was there all through growing up. We knew people in St Ives, and it was always home because I moved around a lot. So it was always somewhere we'd go back to my whole life. And, my parents met there, and my grandparents, had their wedding vows renewed. And it always felt like home. So when we got to move there, it felt right.
How long have you been interested in music? From what sort of age?
Oh, wow. So really, my mum was a singer in a band. She was in a band when she was younger. And so I was my parents have really good music taste. So I was listening to Nirvana since I came out of the womb, listening to pretty much Nirvana and Sheryl Crow and Dixie Chicks. So that was really my country influence, Sheryl Crow and the Dixie Chicks. But I listened to all sorts. I've been, performing on stage since I was about 10. I used to do lots of acting as well. I was about 9 when I picked up a guitar, but I've always sang. Singing was always my favourite thing to do. But yeah, I picked up the guitar at about 9 or 10, and I started, writing when I was 11. I've always done poetry though, so that kind of helped with my writing, and a bit of a daydreamer. So I've always come up with the most crazy ideas for songs when I was little. But yeah, no, it's always been an interest. It's always something I've loved to do. And it was something that, I was never pushed into by anyone. It was just, I remembered I just went up to my parents one day and just be like, I want to do this. And they've been so supportive of it, which I'm really lucky. Not all parents, will support their kids doing, a job that's really difficult. Breaking into the industry is not an easy thing to do.
And you're still young, and this is your job, isn't it? You're not a part-time singer. It's full-time for you.
Full-time.
So, what were your musical influences then? You've told me about your parents, and the music they were playing, which is great.
Yeah.
Great to have parents playing country music.
Yeah.
My kids don't appreciate it. I don't know why.
Put it on the sleep, and then they'll be dreaming about it. No, so yeah, because my parents listened to all sorts. My mum liked, My Chemical Romance and Pink and stuff. So she wasn't all country, but my dad always listens to, I always called it his sad music, because it was always talking about, losing a loved one or something. So that was I had a pretty, one end of the spectrum, but no, so I think I listen to all sorts, Frank Sinatra. I love Cyndi Lauper, Bruce Springsteen, the Eagles. And then I love the Beach Boys, and I love Artie Shaw, and I think, I don't know, I just like anything really. I wouldn't say I only listen to country music, because I listen to pop, I listen to rock. I love Def Leppard, and I love Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith. And I think that's also something that's so great about country music today, is that it's not just like pure country. It is, you've got all these other genres that are...
There's lots of people seem to be getting into country music, either as a sort of going that way or just dipping in for one song, doing a collaboration.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's Taylor Swift has done.
She's Casey Musgraves, I think, is like...
Yeah,
it's amazing because her new album, some of it you listen to and you're like, is that country music or is it, pop, or is it? And it is country, but I think it's, I just love what she's done, because that's, I feel like that's very more me, because she's got. So I bet you think you're John Wayne, that one, and that one's really like got a really strong beat on it, and I just love that song. It's really catchy.
But I think to me, it's sort of, is it country, is it not? If you like it, then you like it.
Yeah,
and I think the fact that these people are taking the genre
and experimenting
with it, but it takes the country fans probably their way, and also their original fans maybe pulls them into country a little bit.
That's it, yeah. And there's so many like Brooks and Dunn have just done that like collaboration album, and like Old Town Road, that's like merging different genres, and it is definitely broadening the country genre, which is a good thing. It's it's not all about bar fights and trucks and stuff, and you've got all of these different things going on, and it's great to have such a a huge genre now.
Yeah.
I was sat on my front porch at 10 a.m. when Austin picked me up in a Chevy truck and drove me to the east side of town. I remember the glow of his hair was golden in the summer's light, despite it being brown, it suddenly caught my eye. I taught him everything I knew about pickup lines. So he asked me if angels fell from heaven, and then who the hell was I? I gave him a note saying that I bet I'm not your kind. But I regret that when Hannah came in to his life. She was a new girl from out of town. Now it's too late, I let you down. And I said, hey, Ace, do you remember those summer days lying on the sand on a Saturday? Well, I remember well. Hell, and I said, hey, now, do you remember what went down before Hannah came around? Hands and carve their names into trees. It's quite sad, but I think that should be you and me. I'm not jealous, I'm just head over heels and falling into deep for a guy who's met the girl of his dreams. And I said, I hope you understand. Oh, this isn't where I stand. And I said, hey, Ace, do you remember those summer days lying on the sand on a Saturday? Oh, I remember well. Hell, and I said, hey, now, do you remember what went down before Hannah came around? And you said she loved you so much, and and everything she does makes you fall in love. But I know this isn't true, because she doesn't say to you. Hey, do you remember those summer days, lying on the sand on a Saturday? Well, I remember it well, and I said, hey now, do you remember what went down before Hannah came around? Before Hannah came around, 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 around. Before Hannah came around, 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 around. Before Hannah came around.
The Alpha Sessions with Ron Laver.
Having said earlier that, this last year's been a great year for you, have you considered leaving Cornwall as a base, London? Have you thought about Nashville?
I think I love St Ives is home to me, and I think with London, I love coming to London, but I think it's only an hour flight away, and I just I love being by the sea. I think if I had to, I could, but I think for where I am now, I'm happy coming up for a weekend. London's so expensive as well, it's to live in London, but no, I think where I am now is good. I'd love to go to Nashville at some point. But yeah, there's lots of places. I love New York. I want to go and do some gigs in New York, definitely. It's my favourite place after St Ives. Yeah.
So we can look forward to seeing you gigging out of the southwest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Around London and,
I've got
further
some,
afield.
Yeah, I've got some coming up in London. 18th of January I'm playing, I'm headlining actually the O2 Academy in Islington. And then on the 14th of February, I'm doing the Spice of Life, which is going to be really cool as well.
Soho.
Valentine's Day as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I can sing all my love songs, which is, it's going to be great.
You can sing that one that you were telling me about, that you tend to nod off when you're singing.
Yeah, I wrote a song when I was like 15, and I did it at my gigs, because I was I've been gigging since I was 14, 15, and it's a song that I've been playing for 5-6 years. And it's so slow, and it was I was playing it once or twice a week for years, and I was just
It's interesting because you're, if you don't mind me saying, you're 20 now. So things like Hey Ace were written when you were 15.
Yeah, 15.
And between 15 and 20 there's a lot of growing up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
However, Hey Ace still stands up as a good song.
Thank you.
It's not oh yeah, that was written when she was 15. You can tell, because it's a bit twee. It doesn't,
thank you.
So yeah, you've obviously been sort of very mature in your thoughts.
Oh yeah.
And at an early age.
I've always been, because I always think it doesn't sound mature when you say you're mature, but I've always been, I've always hung around with people that were a bit older than me, and I think because I've moved around a lot, and been doing music from quite a young age, I've been around a lot of adults. So yeah, I think it's my music isn't, I've been inspired and influenced by a lot of people that have been older.
One of the reasons you're in London at the moment, you've been collaborating with another singer-songwriter, Amy Lawton.
Yeah, got something exciting in the pipeline there.
Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, yeah, we were in the studio yesterday working on something. I'm not going to announce anything just yet. I'm just going to wait till, everything's, because it's what we've been doing, it's not finished yet. No. But no, yeah, something exciting's going to come there, and she's great. She's a fantastic lyricist and singer, and it's just really exciting.
So we can look forward to maybe something coming out of this. We're not quite sure what.
Soon,
but,
definitely soon.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that. Do you do a lot of collaborating on songwriting, or do you prefer to work alone?
It's only something really I've gotten into recently. I've always, been very independent writing alone. And usually it will be like, I'll write a song in like 30 minutes. So I'll just sit and I'll have like this idea and it'll just like fall out of me and just, I'll just write it in 30 minutes. But I've had some opportunities to write with some really fantastic people recently. They've just like dropped me a line like, hey, I saw you're in London next week. Do you maybe want to come round and do a writing session? And, it's, they've written with like some fantastic people and so it's something I've done a bit more recently. But yeah, I'm confident on doing my own stuff. I think it's just, it's quite fun doing the writing session because you get like a narrative, their narrative as well. So then, that you're coming up with stuff that you wouldn't usually come up with on your own. They might have like a special chord or something.
Do you ever get conflict, in terms of...
Not really.
Hold on, I've given you all my melody, I've given you all my words.
I think usually you go in like, this is 50-50.
Right.
But no, I've actually had this is one of those learning curve moments though. I did a writing session a couple of years ago with someone, and I wrote, pretty much the whole song, and they wanted like 50%, and I felt morally that, that usually it is a 50-50 thing, but yeah. I had written like the whole song. I think they were in there and they were like, yeah, I'm thinking of something. And I'm like, yeah, this. And they're like, that's what I was thinking of. So they didn't actually input. No. And I like just came up with the whole thing, and I went back to a hotel room and I wrote the rest of the song, and then they were like, yep, 50%. And I was like, I just didn't release it in the end. I felt it's not, with music releases and stuff, you don't even make much money off releases, but just out of morals, I did feel that it wasn't really fair. And I ended up just being like, what, maybe in the future, but for the time being, I'm not that fussed about letting this one go. So I just didn't release it.
That's fair enough. So when you write, what is your writing process? Perhaps if you're on your own. I mean, when you're with writing someone else, I guess it depends. You've got to come at it together. But if you're writing a song, do you write poetry? Do you write it as a poem and then put it to music? Or
well, usually I just come up with like an idea for a song, or I have like books full of lyrics, or it could be that I come up with a chord sequence. It varies. Like I could write a song that takes 2 months, or I could write a song that takes 10 minutes. Hey Ace I wrote in like 20 minutes when I was 15, but then I wrote Will You Save Me, which is like a piano melody, a ballad. And that one took like 2 months to write. I think it depends though. It depends if it's something that's I'm really struggling with at the time. That can sometimes actually take longer because I struggle to actually like word how I feel. But then if it's like I have a little crush on someone, that's like quite a quick song I can write. But no, yeah, it does vary. Sometimes, it could be that I watch a film and they'll say something in it and I'm like, oh my God, that would be an amazing lyric or something, or, or they say something, I'm like, you know what, that idea, gives me an idea or something. So it can be something as simple as, the way someone looks at someone in the street and I'm like, I've got a song about that.
It sounds like it's just very natural for you. You don't have to work at it.
No, my mum did a lot of writing though, and she wrote me poems when I was little. So I think being in that kind of environment growing up, and my sister is a fantastic writer, so being in a very creative environment, it was always very natural. I always loved writing. I used to write short stories when I was little and stuff, and it's something that I've just always done. It's not something that I've ever forced myself to do. I've just loved doing it.
Okay. On the writing side of things, I particularly am fond of your track Movie Scene.
Thank you.
I find it really melodic.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me something about the writing that and what inspired you for that.
Yeah. So I had some lyrics stored away because. On last New Year's, I had a little fling with this guy who when I was in St Ives, and then he went back to university, and he kind of left me, and I was kind of left a bit crushed. But yeah, my boyfriend's in there, so but no, yeah, he knows the story
because her current boyfriend.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, it's not about him. But no,
he was getting
sorry.
worried, was he?
No, but yeah, no, this guy that I had this fling with, and I was he left me feeling a bit sad, and I just kind of came up with this melody that was like da 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 da, and it just kept going on in my head, ran around my head. So I went to I've got a little MIDI keyboard, and I was just coming up with some ideas, and I ended up just going on making at home a software version of a little software demo of this song, and I just absolutely loved it. And I went to the studio, and I was like, I've just got this idea, and I've got this song, and my producer's fantastic, Gareth. I go to the Cube in Truro, and yeah, Gareth Young, he's an amazing producer, and we kind of just brought to life this thing. And I wanted the intro to be quite Hawaiian because I love this artist called Courtney J, and not many people know of her. She's a country artist, and she hasn't released anything in ages. It's quite hard to access her stuff now because it's so long ago that some of it's been taken off iTunes, and she always had this Hawaiian twang to her country music, and that's something I've always been really heavily inspired by. So I was I really like this Hawaiian thing she does. So me and Gareth were thinking about how could we incorporate a Hawaiian kind of vibe to the beginning, and he came up with this. He made this sound, and I was just I don't know if it was the pedal steel or it just I was just that's it. And I love the 80s beat, so I was I really want this song to have an 80s Springsteen beat, just to bring for movement and to bring it to life a bit. And that's going with the whole alt country movement, and it felt very me, and so yeah, I love that song. That it's my favourite one to play, as well as the one that's coming out soon. But yeah, that it's really, really fun.
Came back with the sun. It's been pretty lifeless since you've been gone. So mad at you guys, but you set the bar too high. 'Cause it's you, it's always been you. The last quote on my lonely night is true. Wanting to hate you, but I can't seem to find the rain. Dazed and contemplating if I wanna play this game. 'Cause I don't wanna be another name on your list. Take me back to that December night where I kissed the fear of your lips. The stars were falling in your eyes. It was like a movie scene. But when I woke up, you were not with me. It's nostalgic, you see. When you hear a guitar, do you think of me? It's hidden in your lies. I know you're missing me tonight. 'Cause it's you, it's always been you. Since you held my hand in that crowded room, it's true. Stood in checkered blue, eyes on me, eyes on you. 'Cause I don't wanna be another better part of me. The headlights have caught you and you're spinning me into them. How many times can I go through this? 'Cause I don't wanna be another name on your list. Take me back to that December night where I kissed the spirit of your lips. The stars are falling in your eyes. It's like a movie scene. And when I walk out, you are not away from me. And I wish that you were with me. You
The Alpha Sessions.
You've toured with Katie Tunstall. How did that come about?
Well, so I just supported her at one gig. She was doing the Tunes on the Sands in Devon. She was like headlining one evening on the Saturday, and one of the bookers for the event, contacted me just saying, hey, we've got, one of the slots before the headline, and would you maybe want to come and do the support earlier in the day? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, because, I love Katie Tunstall. And yeah, we had the CD in the car, when I was growing up. Other Side of the World is like a fantastic song. And I didn't actually get to meet her because I had to leave earlier because I had like a commitment in the morning. So, but I gave her I made like this, there was one of the bouncers there was like the biggest legend. He was just so cool, and I made friends with him backstage. This like guy, because I was just stood there for ages before the gig, and I wrote a note for her, and she sent me a message just saying,
nice.
and everything. She's like really nice.
If you could play anywhere in the world, any arena, any club, bar, whatever.
Okay, so probably like my biggest dream, like the gold at the end of the rainbow. It's always obviously the Bluebird Cafe somewhere I'd love to play, but Madison Square Garden if I could, anywhere, because I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. I absolutely love Billy Joel. He's always playing there, and it's just the stage is like just in the middle. Yeah. And it's just like, I love New York. So Madison Square Garden has just been like, is a dream. It is an absolute dream. And, the bucket list, if that's kind of what I'd love to work towards, it's a lot of, that would be like a lot of work and a lot of luck. But hopefully one day.
You never know. And what about someone supporting you?
Someone supporting me?
Well, and they can be the biggest star in the world. Who would you love to be on stage with at this gig?
Carole King or Billy Joel. Right. Carole King or Billy Joel, yeah. Literally, like I've always thought, if I could collab like with an artist in one of the, the biggest artists. Like Carole King has been a huge inspiration. I just love Billy Joel. I think he's fantastic. But yeah, no, one of those two.
You never know. A lot of people listen to these programmes and...
Billy Joel might tune in.
Yeah, you never know. Okay. Well, look, it's been really nice talking to you. Thanks for coming in and singing your songs for us today. Really enjoyed them. Very impressed. If people listening out there were also impressed, how can they find out more about you? Awesome.
So yeah, thank you for having me. So more about me. So my website does have all the links and details on it. So that's like www.baileytomkinson.com. But then if you just wanted to like follow me on social media, Facebook is just type in Bailey Tomkinson, or and pretty much anything, I'll come up. If you type my name into Google, there's not many of Bailey Tomkinsons in the world, so I'm the first one there, so you'll find all my links. Spotify, Bailey Tomkinson, just my name really.
YouTube. You're on YouTube,
Bailey Tomkinson as well. Just all my name, just type my name into Google and everything should be there.
Okay, well look, good luck with your new single.
Thank you
I
very
Wish.
much.
It should be out about the time this video hits the streets. So, I hope it goes well for you and
Thank
does
you.
at least as well as your last few.
I hope so too.
And even better would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Bailey.
Thanks.
I'm talking over tequila again. He shows me his tattoos whilst talking about his ex-girlfriends. Sick and tired of all of this. All these boys want just one thing, and I'm not like that. I need a man in Levi jeans, not a boy on a football team. I need a rodeo riding tractor driving guy older than me. I need a man. Drunk on the weekend, your big brother's picking you up, and I'll come along if I can sit in the front. He's got dark curly hair growing a mustache, and if you walked home, I'd be fine with that. I need a man in Levi jeans, not a boy on a football team. I need a rodeo riding tractor driving guy older than me. I need a man. So pretty, baby, have you got a lady, or can you drive me around?